right, here you are. Thank you for subscribing, Mom.
All right. Now let's pretend now I'm going to do like a do and then
Okay.
get
Okay.
into it.
What do we want to stop this and start all over so it's something we can copy and delete, or do we want to just keep cooking?
I could go back and
Okay.
like
Okay.
edit
Okay. Okay.
this.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Um
Talented
all
man.
right.
Hi everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of Coasting the Mediaverse. I'm your co-host Michael, here with my amazing co-host Brian.
Hey guys, what's going on?
And today we're gonna get started into what you guys came here for. But a little preliminary on today's episode. It's kind of crazy that we're doing this, right, Brian?
Dude, this is weird. It's just kind of surreal. We've been talking about this for a long time since you were in California. Talking about this in what, June, July, and it's now January.
Yeah, and it's honestly we've been talking about it for a little bit longer than that, but that's when we decided, no, we got to figure this out. We got to make it work.
Yeah. Actually,
And
we've been talking about it for more than like a year
yeah,
or
yeah,
two
yeah.
now.
But now is the time when they felt like we were actually putting the gas into it.
Yeah. So, guys, if you're listening to this, first off, thank you very much. Like we said, this is something that Michael and I have been trying to do for the longest time. Um, we have a lot of things cooking. We're really excited to start 2026, getting into the creative mindset, and kind of just doing things we really want to do. So, thank you for listening, and we hope you guys enjoy.
And I bet you guys are wondering, why a podcast? Why another podcast of two people talking about pop culture and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff? And I'm gonna let the more sophisticated one explain that for us.
Oh God! Apparently, I'm the more sophisticated, so that really tells us about what this podcast is going to be. Um, yeah, I mean, listen, hey, we're both two goofy guys. We like a lot of media, but really, this is to track our journey. We are two people that really like media. We really want to get into it. I think both of us, like, we're not in it right now, but we really want our careers to be centered around the entertainment and the media that we love. To what capacity, we're not really sure, but we're gonna figure that out. So this is our first step into that new world, per se. It's exciting stuff. We are going to, over the next couple of months, weeks, years, millennia, who knows, we're gonna just be making media. This is the first bit of it, the podcast. But who knows where we're gonna go from here? Yeah.
Exactly so. And something that really excited us about doing this podcast was really how do we show a little bit of us in the first couple episodes. So by this point that this is releasing, you'll probably see that there's 5 episodes. If you're joining us now and we have more episodes, hey, thanks for joining in now, and I hope you enjoyed the first 5. Or if you skip to something you like later on, also a good choice. But
Yeah.
we're kind of breaking down a little bit of each avenue of pop culture we think is important, something that really matters to us, and hey, today you're in for a treat because we're starting with the number one for us.
And that's movies. We're talking movies today, guys. Michael and I, we kind of met over movies. I don't know if you want to go a little bit into that.
Yeah, so, me and Brian met at a place called Hex and Company. Some of you
Shout
are
out.
very familiar with that place. Some of you might not know what it is. Um, moving more past into how me and Brian met, it's just kind of one of those things you talk about, hey, what kind of nerd are you? And me and Brian just so happened to ask each other that question. I think I came up to you
Yeah.
because you were the new one at the time, and
Hmm.
Brian brought up movies, and that's music to my ears. So I just think we didn't shut up that whole shift talking about movies, what we like, what we don't like, what we want to do, how we're both passionate about wanting to create some kind of avenue for film in a creative world, or just understanding it better and being able to really see the influences it puts in our lives and just be happy about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, working at the place that we were working at, we're surrounded by extremely creative, talented people. So we're all nerding out about something. But something about talking with Michael, we were just like, damn, this guy's pretty cool. I was like minute one, I was like, all right, Michael's a cool guy. He was my boss at the moment, and he was just, you don't know how your boss is gonna be, but this guy, cool guy. So guys, I don't know, you're in for a good time with him.
Yeah, and I appreciate that humble brag, very sweet of you. I felt the same way. Like I love talking about movies with pretty much anyone. If you find me on the street, obviously I'd love to talk to you guys about movies. We'll find more ways for you to join us in movie conversations and other pop culture. But I think Brian is one of the very first people that really understood the vision that I saw for a lot of media, even past movies, like where we have our disagreements, we understand how to have that conversation, not by putting each other down or making it like a bit or one over another, but just where that, like we said, that love and passion comes from. So we're kind of excited to share a little bit about what movies we like with all of you and kind of get more into that. So let's start.
Yeah. All right, my dude. So, what do you like about movies? What's your thing?
See, the thing why I like movies is just kind of gives you an escape to somewhere else, right? Like as movies have always been, it's kind of the idea that you're somewhere else, seeing something on a screen, typically in places that you might not ever be yourself, or the imagination that your mind wanders, that you dream about, think about, talk about, but you get to see it on the big screen, right? Growing up, movies were always a big thing for me and my family. It was like when the movie was on the TV, I knew it was family time, right?
Yeah.
It brought me closer to everyone. I know we gotta enjoy something. Everyone had their different genres and taste to kind of what they wanted on the screen per se, but just knowing something was there made me feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any movies that your family like routinely watched?
Oh yeah. Definitely growing up, where since I was younger anyways, there was a lot of like animated films that we were really into, like The Iron Giant,
Yeah.
Pokemon, the original one.
Oh,
Shout out, one of the best VHS I had at the time. And then my brothers and sister watched a lot of movies. At the time, I had no idea what was going on, maybe a little bit too much for me,
yeah.
which we'll get into. But I just remember growing up, obviously, to the younger, like cartoon and animated movies that really just kind of made me feel good.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's nostalgic, but love it. What about you?
That's fair. For me, dude, my family, I can go home at any time, and the odds of my family watching Legally Blonde,
Nice.
Sweet Home Alabama, also with Reese Witherspoon, Pitch Perfect, or Shawshank Redemption. I'm telling you, like, anytime I go home, like, I went home for Christmas and I watched Legally Blonde.
Hell yeah.
Like, it's always on in my living room. My parents will watch those movies routinely just because they're always on cable, too. And that is just, like, our thing. So, like, I'll just walk downstairs, like, I'll be doing something and I'll come downstairs and I'm like, boom, Pitch Perfect is on.
Yeah.
And Pitch Perfect is just, it's a fine movie. I think it's pretty funny in spots. They just love it. Like, they have probably seen it, all those movies, like, upwards of, like, 25, 30 times. Like,
I'm,
it is, like, their thing.
no, for sure. I mean, like, speaking about Pitch Perfect for a second, talking about movies being so influential, I mean, the Cup song was all over the
Bro,
place, right?
imagine the Cup song existing during TikTok era.
Oh no, we're
Like,
gonna.
I think that was, like, Vine at most,
Yeah,
but,
I
like,
think it's
no.
Vine at most, but yeah, like it, and that's just shows you the impact that movies they can make starting from that segment. But
Seriously.
kind of touching back onto what you're saying, I think all of my genres of movies and why I like them kind of come back to my family,
Me too.
right? Since it's family thing. My sister and my mom getting me really into rom-coms and
Yeah.
dramas and Lifetime movies and kind of bringing a more sensitive side to the drama of emotions. My dad watching a lot of westerns and like crime
Oh, yeah.
movies. My brother getting me into a lot of obscure things like I don't know if you guys have ever heard the movie Dagon or from Call of Cthulhu, H.P.
No.
Lovecraft lore.
Yeah.
I remember watching it from the staircase because I was told I was too little to watch it when his best friend at the time was watching it. And I remember like sitting on the stairs being so freaked out because the
Yeah.
craziest things are happening
I
on
could
it,
imagine,
but I
yeah.
couldn't look away.
Oh,
And I think from that point, I got really inspired by that kind of different genres, but I fell into like horror, which
yeah.
you guys are gonna hear me talk about a lot. Where I got really into the horror. My brother, my sister-in-law, shout out Nancy, really allowed me to watch a lot of these scarier movies from a young age, and really helped influence what I liked. I
Yeah.
remember being in, I can't remember if it was middle school at the time. Zombieland 1 came out
Oh my God,
and I
yeah.
wanted to watch it at the midnight release so bad. And my sister-in-law made a promise me. It was like if you could do your homework or something and you take a nap, you go to sleep, I'll take you.
Yeah.
And I was not a nap person at the time, and oh my God, I tucked myself in and I
Yeah.
woke up at midnight. We watched
Oh, you
Zombieland,
did go.
and I was changed. Right?
Yeah.
And then midnight premieres for me were like huge at that point.
That's cool. Hell yeah. Dude, I love that. Like, and like you said, like the genres that you watch growing up or like the movies that you watched like really are influenced by the people that like you had in your family. For me, my sister and my mom both like the rom-com. My mom loves like Hallmark and Lifetime movies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've watched any of those. They
Yeah,
are
yeah, definitely.
I struggle with them, but like I also see the charm in them.
Sure.
They're really easy to follow along. They're just like, you put them on to have fun. My mom likes to crochet or stuff like while
Hey,
she's
my mom
doing.
too. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
And so like she needs something that like she can listen to while she's like looking down and
Yeah.
doing her thing. So if she misses something on screen, it's not that big of a deal. Whereas like the movies I try to show her, I'm like, you have to pay attention the entire time. But like sometimes it just doesn't happen. But my sister was also like a huge like Broadway person, or still is. So I get a lot of that from her too.
Mm.
Like my whole family's always been very big in Disney. So Disney, Pixar, all of that. And then I always get like the Shawshank Redemptions, the Green Miles, like all of the dad classics. I
Sure.
get that from my dad. But then my dad is the one that's also watching Pitch Perfect
Right.
and like
Yeah.
Legally Blonde.
'Cause why
Like,
wouldn't they, right? I
yeah,
mean, Legal One's fucking great.
yeah.
Oof.
Oh, dude, it's great.
And kind of what you're saying, like, on my mom too, samesies, right?
Yeah.
Like, my mom loves watching Showtime, Hallmark, stuff like that. But while crocheting, but I swear I've been putting her on like different movies that kind of out of her wheelhouse for the last couple of years, and I'll watch her put the crochet down and just
Yo,
lock in, and I'm like, we've made it,
that's a good
we've
that's a
done
good
it.
one.
And classic feel, my aging ourselves, but Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Going into a Blockbuster, I don't know if you had that experience, but being able to pick out your own movie at a
Very, very
Blockbuster
young,
or
but yeah.
any video rental movies, oh my God,
Yeah.
the knowledge and power of knowing you got that pick that day or
Yeah.
multiple picks, like crazy. That's how I got into like comedy like Adam Sandler, Big Daddy, huge
Adam
movies,
Sandler
yeah.
movies. God, quick. Adam Sandler movies that are your favorites.
Big Daddy.
Big
For
Daddy?
sure, love
Yeah.
Big Daddy. What about you?
For me, I had a VHS of Happy Gilmore,
Oh yeah.
and dude, I've watched that about 1,000 times. Like I love Happy Gilmore.
Classic Little Nicky. I don't know if
Little
you've
Ni-
seen them.
Little Nicky, like you said with your brother watching the movie and you had to watch from the staircase.
Yeah.
My older cousin was watching Little Nicky, and me and my other cousin who's around my age, we had to like watch from like the side
Yeah.
because like you watch it now and you're like, why was I watching this under the age of 10? Who knows?
Sure.
But I was.
It's like watching Dude, Where's My Car? Like
Oh my god. What a
again,
classic.
shouldn't be watching it, but I'm watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like when it comes to my children, like I'm not gonna be like, yeah, you need to watch this, or like you can't watch this, or like I don't know, like it's gonna be up in the air. We'll see. But like I think watching some of those things when you're younger, just being like, what is this world that like I'm
Sure.
not familiar with? Because you watch like I don't know about you, I was watching Veggie Tales and Pixar and Disney. Like that was the only things that I had on like VHS. And then every now and then I'd come downstairs like late at night, maybe I woke up like from whatever, and my dad was watching some obscure movie, like maybe even not something like that crazy, but I'd just come down and I'm like, what the heck's going on? That guy has a gun? Like what is this?
Yeah.
And like whatever. And that was probably like a PG-13 movie, and like but like that made me interested in like what else was out there. And I think that also attributes to like my interest in like finding the most interesting things to look for in like I like obscure media, and like I like obscure films that are like absurd. And we'll get into my top one, like sneak peek for later by the way. But yeah,
Hoops.
like I'll get into why I like my top one because, I just like things that are different.
No, yeah, definitely. And you all are gonna see on spoiler what we're getting into some of my obscure movie takes that I like, but also the ones that I hold in my heart, right? And kind of going back to what Brian was saying, why I love movies, whether it's something that we got from a young age, from our influences of our family, our friends, or just kind of walking into a movie you weren't supposed to watch and that changing your life. Because hey, I think we all have those movies.
Yeah.
Rewatching movies now, from movies I've seen like when I was a kid, even to a movie I've seen 2 years ago, is for me always very healthy as a movie lover because I'm always learning new things or appreciating movies
For
in
sure.
times that I didn't, right? Up into this episode, I did rewatch a lot of my favorite movies from that I had on a list of my top movies preparing for my explanation to all of you.
Yeah.
And there are some movies that I watched and I was like, whoa, I
Yeah.
knew I loved this movie, but dang, I didn't understand it, and now I
Yeah.
do even more. Some movies I watch, I was like, oh, I still love it so much, but I realize I love another movie more,
Yeah.
right? And that's just a great thing about it.
It's it it's just it's such a special thing. And like real quick, do you like streaming or do you like going to the theater more?
Okay, so obviously I love going to the theater more.
Yeah.
If I can go to the theater, and within a doubt, I love to. And lately, being in New York, I've been going to a lot of more like independent theaters that show retellings of like the older cinema that
I
we
gotta start
like.
doing those
Yeah,
more.
yeah, you definitely have to. I'll bring you to some. And sometimes I'll be wanting to rewatch a movie, and like the movie gods bless me, and it pops up, and I'm like, thank goodness, we're gonna watch that, you know?
Yeah.
But other times I miss them, or LA also has a lot of great ones. So when I'm back home, I like to catch them when I can.
Sure, yeah.
But also I love streaming because it gives you the opportunity to watch things that are kind of not always in theaters, or sometimes there are certain movies or genres that don't really get a lot of view time in the cinema.
Yeah.
So it is nice to have, and then you can have a little movie party or have a couple people over and just enjoy it, which is also, again, movies are a shared experience. There are days I want to be alone, but other times I want to share something with someone.
Yeah, for sure. Streaming does allow it makes it more accessible. Um, it's a lot easier. You know, you can pause, you can go to the bathroom, you can make food or whatever. You can have those parties. Something about watching a movie in theaters just teleports me to another world. Like, I forget that I'm in a theater and I just am fully engrossed in the thing. Like, I'm almost like my eyes, like, I mean, this is so corny and like whatever, but like my eyes become the camera and I feel like I'm just standing right next to the characters. Like, I just feel like I'm in that world. So like if there's like an intense scene and something's really anxiety whatever, like I am in there. Like I am that general audience member that's like fully in it. Like if it's a sad thing, I'm feeling that sadness. Like if it's an intense scene, maybe someone's gonna die or whatever, like I have that like physical reaction of like, oh shit, I'm in danger. Like
Yeah.
something about a movie theater, like I just fully disappear. And like I I try so hard to go to the movies. And like I whenever I can, I'm always just like, man, I gotta do this more. I don't do it as much, and I think this year I'm gonna be trying so hard to go as much as possible.
We gotta. But like what you just described right now is exactly how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one of those moments like it makes so much sense, but it also falls into like a stoner thought where it's like
Yeah.
normally you don't describe things to that detail.
Yeah.
And in a lot of stoner comedies that I like, they say things that are quote unquote out of pocket or stuff
Yeah.
that really are real fucking sentiments, right?
Yeah.
But like that's on point how I feel.
Yeah.
And even to go up one level, I feel that same way, ironically, when I'm watching a movie on the airplane, right? Because the screen
Yeah.
is so small, but
Yeah.
for some reason, headphones in, little, darkness in the
Yeah.
plane, I'm in this movie,
Yeah.
right? And this experience I just had coming back from visiting the holidays, I got to watch like, was it 4 movies back to back, and I was in it. Oh
That's
my
awesome.
God, so good.
I actually agree with that. Like, I don't know why, but watching a movie in an airplane actually like a phenomenal experience. Like, it actually makes the time go by a lot. Like, I hate airplanes. Like, I just do not like flying in general. Like,
Fair.
I just have anxiety with that. But like, my thing is like, cool. There's a screen. I'm gonna watch a movie. I'm gonna forget that I'm 13,000 feet in the air,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna watch a movie and have a great time. And the last time I did that, it was The Holdovers. You ever see The Holdovers?
No, I haven't.
Dude, like that's the thing. Like I feel like it also gives you the opportunity to be like, well, I got 3 hours to kill. Let me just put on this thing that I probably
Exactly.
wouldn't have seen.
Sure.
And oh my god, dude, I recommend it. It was a great time.
100%. Like I said, I can't say enough how much I love being on a plane to watch movies. Like it's my comfort because I also have some every now and then flight anxiety, but I lately have not because I've been watching movies.
Yeah.
It usually gives me time, like you said, either to watch something that I haven't seen or haven't made the time for, or something that just came out in theaters that I missed, right? Like, for example, I saw Fantastic Four on the plane,
Uh-huh.
which I had not seen.
Yeah.
Oh my God, long story why I didn't see it, but I saw that and that was a fun experience on a plane. And then I watched Casablanca, which to a lot of people is probably like scratching the chalkboard because Casablanca on an airplane is wild. But hey,
Yeah.
it was an experience
Yeah.
for sure. Bought
Oh
some
my God.
champagne on the plane and just kind of soothed into it. It was awesome.
That's such an. I wonder if you're one of the first people to ever watch Casablanca on a plane.
I hope so. And if Delta, you're hearing this, please put my placard on and give me unlimited flights.
Dude, speaking of that, like, so what are the most recent movies you've seen in the last couple of months, I'd say? It's currently January 2026, early January
Oh,
2026.
do we talk about the first movie we saw of the year, even though it was
Oh,
separate?
give a quick, I think, yeah, I say, yeah, we do this. Quick review of
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme, Timothy Chalamet. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, like where we won't make this episode all about that.
No, definitely not.
I will just yeah, it was the first movie of the year, and it's kind of has to get a shout out, has to get like
Yeah,
spread into the pod because the first of this episode, first movie of the year,
yeah.
huge.
All right, so we talked a little bit about Marty Supreme, but I would love to go more into our ratings. You and I use Letterbox religiously, and like we can go into more about your interest in Letterbox because I know it's becoming one of my favorite apps, but I know it is like your favorite thing to do.
I am shaking out of excitement to tell you all about Letterbox.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, so like Marty
Unless
Supreme, like you and I, correct me if I'm wrong, both rated it
four
4.5 out of
four
5.
and a half stars, yeah.
Would you like to go into why?
I think where I'm hearing again, this is when I review movies, and I'll get into the letterbox ideals. Like, I think my reviews are not to scale to a lot of other people.
Sure.
And I'm trying to work on my scaling in movies because as someone who loves movies and doesn't necessarily do half stars
Yeah.
or even likes to under review a movie unless I really didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
This was the first movie I gave a half star in the new year and a four
That's
and a half
so
stars, which
interesting.
is pretty big because I really liked the film. I
Yeah.
thought every person who was performing was that right person for the
Top
role,
notch.
right? Top notch. They
One
all
of the
gave
best
it the best.
castings
One
I
of the
think
best
I've seen in a
casting for
long
sure
time.
in a long time. Um, but why I don't think it hit the 5 star meter for me is I think there were some places with just kind of the flow that I felt
Yeah.
like could have been a little bit better. But again, that doesn't take away from how phenomenal it was watching that movie. Being, I was personally pretty anxious during it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people said they didn't have that same feeling, but now
Yeah.
I wasn't like necessarily throwing up in my stomach, right? Kind of anxiety, but it was
Yeah.
more like I was scared something else was gonna happen.
That's the thing. That's also why I gave it the 4.5. At the end of the day, I would even go like if I could, I would give it the 4.75. Like I wanted to give this 5 stars because I don't know, it's a what 2.5 hour movie. For 2 hours and 20 minutes, I was in. I was
Yeah.
loving this movie. Shout out Timothy Chalamet. I know he's like if he gets an Oscar for this, I'd be like, yeah, I get it.
I mean, just won the critic award, so
Yeah, he was phenomenal. I'm really excited to see his journey. Like you said, everybody else was phenomenal. The movie was gripping. Josh Safdie, absolutely just knows how to make a nail biter
hmm
and like knows how to induce that anxiety, like circa like Uncut Gems style. Like, but for me, it was that ending where like I don't want to get into
So yeah, I
spoilers.
was just gonna
Oh
stop you
yeah,
there
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm as much as I want to talk about the
We
ending.
won't.
What if they haven't seen it
No, no,
yet,
no. We won't
right?
get into spoilers.
But if you like what we're starting with so far, maybe this is an episode that'll come out.
Guys, if you want us to talk about Marty Supreme, let us know in any comment section or anything that like find us on Instagram, find us like what on like YouTube, whatever. Find us and let us know. Say like, hey, we want your thoughts on Marty Supreme, because I can talk about this movie much longer. I'll leave it with that. Like, I just wanted a little bit more from the ending.
And the ironic part of this is I feel the complete opposite to Brian,
Yeah,
which would be such a nice thing to talk about. And we haven't, to be honest, talked about this because we said we would save it for this moment.
yeah,
And in this moment, I just stopped them because now we got to save it for the next moment.
yeah.
So me and Brian won't know why we disagree for a while. So in
Oh
the
my
comments,
god.
let us know if you want
Yeah,
to hear it.
if you want to listen to it, please let us know. We'll put out another thing where it's a quick video talking about Marty Supreme. So yeah, stay tuned for that, I guess.
But
What else?
exciting part,
Yeah.
do we
What,
just get into it?
do you want to get into it? Let's get into
Let's get
it.
into it.
All right. So folks, we have a bit of a way to introduce ourselves to you. Is we're gonna go through our top four on Letterbox. Um, top four for me doesn't necessarily have to be the four best films ever in the history of cinema. It is four films that I find are like what makes films special to me. And something that I realized on my way here is that each of these each of these movies that I've selected have my four favorite scenes in all of
Oh,
cinema.
love that.
Like it is things where I was like, whoa, each of these, like, yeah, I like each of these things for like different reasons and
Hmm.
different like specific things. And I like the whole movies as a whole, and that's why they're in my top four. But like when I was thinking about like why more specifically, these movies have one scene in particular each that I just, it's my favorite thing in the world. And to me, like, it's what makes movies movies for me. And that's what we'll get into. Let's talk about your top four. Why are they in your top four? And how do you feel about that?
That yeah. So a little bit again into the letterbox just to explain it for those of you that don't know what letterbox is.
Oh, true.
Letterbox is like an app that we probably have talked about a little bit in your guys' lives if this is the first time you're hearing about it. It's almost like a film diary app.
Yeah.
That is where I've liked it a lot. I haven't really used it to the best of my abilities for the years I've had it. I think this is the beginning of it. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually just signed up for the Patreon, Weird Flex, and
Nice.
I've been having such a fun opportunity with the app. With the Patreon, it allows you to customize your top four with the profile of the posters. And movie posters I've been looking are very beautiful.
Movie posters, like a good movie poster is just crack to me. Like it scratches that itch where I'm just like, that's
A
perfect.
100%.
Ugh,
And just looking at it has been awesome. And you get to change backdrops, which is a really cool way to get a certain scene, like you said,
yeah.
into it. And then when you do reviews, you're also able to kind of take a preference to how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll let y'all figure out how to use the app. Have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But let's just jump into it.
Yeah,
I think the best way to do it, Brian, is just how about we go back and forth, right? I'll
for sure.
do my one, you do one, and then we
Sounds
get
good.
to the not necessarily the highest.
Do you have an order of like your top four?
So that's also what I'm going to say a little bit about me. Kind of similar to Brian, these four movies on my list, I would not say are the best movies of all time and the idea of to the natural viewers.
Sure.
Personally, they are to me because I have them on my list, and there are a lot of movies I wanted on this list that I just had to keep out for reasons.
Yeah.
And I will not lie to you guys, it's been a struggle to get my top four ready for this
I
pod.
know.
And there are times I canceled on Brian, and he doesn't know that. It's just because I wasn't ready. I was
That's
so
crazy.
anxious, like Marty Supreme anxious, to get it out. And I'll explain why there's some that didn't make it. And the fun thing about Letterbox is, again, it's always changing.
Yeah.
This for you, like, don't ever feel like you have to have the most prestigious or even pretentious movies on there. If you like a movie that some people classify as cinema,
Yeah.
awesome. If you like a movie that some people don't think is cinema or goofy, that doesn't matter. What do you
Yeah.
like? What do you watch? Then that's how I represent my movies.
Yeah.
And if it changes the next day and your four is completely different, that's up to you.
And that's the thing that I want to stress to people listening to this. We love film. We are not like film bros. Like we're not gonna have like four like 1950s French films as our top four. Like, granted, if that's your style and that's what you like, fuck yeah, dude.
Me
Like
making a
that's
change.
awesome. Like me personally, like some of my things are pretty like standard, and like I even was kind of worried going into this, being like, "Ooh, are mine basic?" And then I
Mm,
realized, like just like you said, this is what I like. I like these four movies because they are special to me.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's the most important part. So if you've got a Pixar movie in your top four, hell yeah. If you've got something like the most cheesy Marvel movie thing like that, like if you got Madam Web in your top four, I would love to hear why. And I find that interesting. Like, I like that's the thing. So like guys, another thing to throw out into our comments: tell us your top four letterbox or your top five in general, because I would love to see the differences in what people have to like have in their top five or top four. And that's the other thing about Letterbox. They don't do a top five.
Yeah, it's a top
You'd
four.
think it would be a top five, but they do
I
a top
just had this
four.
conversation with my brother. He was upset when I was explaining to him. He was like, "Why is it not top five?"
But I actually like it because for me, that fifth slot is so hard to fill. Whereas the top four, I kind of am like, yeah, I have to have these in my top
Yeah,
five.
it makes it
Like,
that much more special.
if we do like an honorable mentions, my honorable mentions, I don't know which one's in the five spot because they all could.
Yeah, that's
Meanwhile,
fair.
the four that I'm about to list are my top four.
Yeah, I get you.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. And also fits really nice on the app. Let's
Yeah,
be fair, it looks good as
it
four.
looks so aesthetically pleasing.
But let's get into it. So,
Dude, what's your top
as
four?
we just said, we listen and we don't judge to each other's films. And
No
again,
way.
no way. My number four on the list is The Godfather,
The Godfather, yeah,
which
film bro.
is very film, bro. Is very exactly what I was describing,
But
but
rightfully so, dude.
rightfully so. The thing is,
Yeah.
this movie, I remember hearing about it when I was younger. I think just out of high school, and people were talking about it's like one of the best movies of all time. And again, it's like one of those movies that you hear like Citizen Kane. You're like, oh, it's one of those film bro movies.
Yeah.
But I watched it. Oh, was I changed?
Dude,
Absolutely.
the acting, the atmosphere,
The
you
score.
just score, you can't beat that energy. Like they captured lightning in a bottle with the movie like
For
that. And there's
sure.
a reason why it like what, 40 closer to 50 years later, maybe, right?
Still making
It's still
references
in
to
that.
it. Still in the
Yeah.
talk. Still on the nose.
Yeah.
They just came out. Well, not just came out, but came out a documentary about it. But
Mm,
I love a movie that breaks things into acts and does it
sure.
well.
Yeah.
Right? I love that, right?
Yeah.
And The Godfather just does kind of like what you were saying. You're locked into the movie. You
Mhm.
forget the concept of time, right? You're just so involved with it. Every character, the like to the dialogue, the each sentence, each letter of the words coming out of these characters are thought with so much passion and reason.
Mhm.
And like I guess I'll just talk about one scene so we're not talking about too much. Like
Sure.
the one that we all love to talk about is the scene where Michael is in the restaurant and he's
Yeah.
looking for the gun.
Yeah.
And what he didn't know as an actor was they hid the gun in a way that he wasn't actually supposed to find it right away. So that panic that you see him looking
Oh,
for the gun, that's real. And he's like,
dude.
"Oh fuck! Like, did they not put this in here? Like, I can't find it. What do I
Oh
do?" And he's
shit.
like tapping around looking for it, and then he finally finds it. And you see the relief on him
Yeah.
because he found the gun.
Dude, see to me that's art. That is such you captured real emotion in that. Like yeah, an actor doing their job can be phenomenal, but that was also a bit of him the actor slipping through
Right.
and it made it feel more real. And it drives up that energy and like, oh, that's awesome. I love that. I think that's so cool. I love fun facts like that.
Yeah, fun facts are great.
Yeah.
Trying to be more about a fun fact person. A little bit about me again, not to take away from this for a second, but I kind of just love watching movies. I'm not the best when it comes to facts or knowing the knowledge past it. That's
Yeah,
something I'm working on. But again, that's the
sure.
thing. You can love movies in any way you like. Do your
That's the
thing.
thing. I went to film school. I felt really stupid in those rooms because people would talk about like, oh, during this scene they actually used a 35 millimeter like that, and I'm like, dude, what? And like, granted, like I know how to use those that equipment and stuff,
Sure.
but the movies I love, like the four that I'm about to list, can't tell you jack shit about the things that they used. I might know a fun fact like what you just said, like here and there,
Yeah.
but like I'm not gonna go in being like, oh, I need to know the science behind this, and I need to know like how the person was feeling that day or like that.
Sure.
Like,
And
yeah,
honestly, that stuff's cool, right? I'm not
it
saying it's
certainly
not.
is.
And
It
if you want to
just
like
yeah,
that stuff, that's more welcome to do it. I mean, I like that stuff too, but I just think again, do it how you like.
yeah,
You don't owe anyone anything.
yeah.
And
For exactly.
I think on that, what's your for?
My number four, to juxtapose The Godfather a little bit, is The Truman Show. The Truman Show.
Wonderful movie.
I don't know when I discovered this movie, but the drama mixed with comedy is top notch for me. Jim Carrey, obviously legend, like hilarious actor, phenomenal dramatic actor too, and that you really get to see that shine in this movie. He brings this energy that like in Truman that is just it's because you're rooting for him the whole time, and then like when you see it slowly cracking and like the world is starting breaking around him, but he still deals with like like he still like goes into it with comedy, and then I'm gonna whenever I do the breakdowns of why I like it, I'm gonna talk about like that scene that I love, and it's right after the waves crash. They try to literally kill him on screen, and he perseveres through it. And then his boat is sailing, and you see Truman smiling because he's finally free. Granted, he doesn't know where he is, so like this is before he hits the wall. But he's smiling. He's on the coast. The waters have calmed, and then he hits that wall, and his ship like breaks through, and then he sees the facade, and he walks on the stairs, and he's touching the wall, and the music is swelling, and he's punching the wall, and he's crying because like he's learning. He knew going into this that his world was a facade, but he didn't realize just how much of a facade it was, that the sky and the ocean was painted on the walls
Yeah.
like miles away, and like him walking up those stairs right before Kristoff like tries to convince him to come back. The music, the visuals, Jim Carrey's acting, I cannot get enough of it. It's so beautiful, and I think every single time I've watched it, I do cry. And that's the thing. I cry with all these movies. A movie that makes me cry, immediate 4 stars, and then if it has that extra itch, tack on a 5.
No shame. I'm the
Yeah.
exact same way. I love
Yeah.
crying during a movie, or if a
Mhm.
movie could make me feel any kind of emotion, especially that one, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how you know you're touched, right?
Yeah.
It hit you. And I agree. Watching the Truman Show for me, it was like it's kind of mind blowing in a way that I personally have always had that idea of like, oh, what if people are always watching me? Or what if,
Yeah.
you always kind of see people lingering and looking at you. And then
Yeah.
you watch something like that and you're like, oh, someone's been watching me in the shower. Like, fuck, I hope they're paying extra for this, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like you said, I think that's one of my favorite things about like, especially actors who are kind of always doing roles that are like comedic,
Yeah.
where they're allowed to show, where I think comedy is an important movie genre. A lot of the times, comedy comes from a place of heart.
Yeah. Oh,
And
for sure.
so I think obviously Jim Carrey is someone who can carry that heart, whether in a super comedic role or not, because he's so involved in it, right? And he can
Yeah.
just linger back and forth, and that's why Truman Show is so good.
Yeah.
And I agree to that.
It's it scratches that itch. But yeah. All right. So that's my number 4. Let's get into your number 3. What do you got?
Number three, speaking of a movie that makes me cry, like
Oh,
sob in tears, especially as a kid. You probably
oh
heard me
no.
say it earlier. One of the
Oh.
first movies I mentioned, The
Oh.
Iron Giant.
Oh.
Iron
The
Giant by
Iron Giant.
Brad Bird. Wow,
Yeah.
what a movie that impacted me so much as a kid, and
Yeah.
like kind of just wanting to be like a better person, making
Mhm.
sure you take care of, your friends and family or people who can't protect themselves. But also obviously watching it, I just rewatched it for this moment, and before I rewatched it, I'm gonna be honest, guys, it wasn't in my top four. And then I watched it again a couple days ago, and I went, yeah, that's why it's always been on my top four when I first had the app, to why I'm back in it.
Yeah.
It's truly such a wonderful movie. That's an animated film, which again, in movies, a lot of times animated films don't get enough attention and love, right? You think about animated films, you talk about Disney, Pixar, cartoons, childish, but not at all. I feel like animation allows you to get to a perspective of a world that's not always able to be brought into a live action.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like the voice actors or the actors themselves really get to put a little bit more tone and emotion into the sensitivity of what they're trying to say or
Certainly.
do. And Iron Giant for me is one of those movies as a kid that really helped me develop and helped me realize not only did I like film, but that I just love a good movie that makes you cry, like you said.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Iron Giant, hey, it's out there. It's been there for a
Visuals are
while. Visuals are
gorgeous.
great.
The heart, like you
The heart.
said,
It's the
it
heart of the
is.
movies. Yeah.
I'd say if you had to pick like a movie that is like heart encompassed, it is that movie.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
And it is also a movie that is touching against the concept of like gun violence,
Mhm.
and if guns have a soul, would they want to be used as a weapon?
Yeah.
And a fun fact about Iron Giant
Whoa.
is when Brad Bird was making this movie, it was part most inspired because his sister, if I'm not mistaken, was killed in gun violence.
No way.
And so in this, it kind of gave him the concept, if a gun
Sure.
had a soul, would it feel sad?
Wow.
And kind
What
of
an
plays
artist.
into what the Iron Giant's about. Iron Giant follows a kid named Hogarth who finds a alien robot that crash lands on his planet that is supposed to pretty much destroy the world,
Mm-hmm.
but it falls into a power plant of electricity, and it kind of its mind gets shaken into a place of it doesn't remember its purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And so Hogarth is trying to teach this supposed alien evil weapon monster how to be good, how to be human, how to be like a hero, and he really tries to put the characterisms of Superman into
Yeah.
him, someone who came to this world that doesn't have to be evil, that can choose to take care of it, to protect it, to make it its own.
It really is a Superman story.
It is a Superman story, and I love it. So I'm
That's
getting
so
teary-eyed even
great.
thinking about it as I'm
Yeah.
looking at a Twinkie in my corner that I'm gonna eat for other reasons. But also, Twinkies are a big part of the movie. And honestly, like seeing Hogarth snack on food in that movie was me as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Grabbing a Twinkie, putting whipped cream in there, just like,
Yeah.
which is so youthful and why
Yeah.
I love it, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm almost dude, yeah, not to like spoil any of mine, but animated movies, like I don't have any animated movies in my top 4.
Poser.
But like, oh, wait till we talk about TV because that's where
Oh
all my
yeah, yeah, yeah.
animation comes in. But animated movies, I hope they get the respect they deserve. I don't like that the Oscars have an animated movie of the year because most of the time the animated movie of the year is equal, if not better, than the Best Picture. It just doesn't get the respect because people go, "Oh, it was drawn, so it's a cartoon." Like I have some friends who just straight up are just like, "No, I stopped watching animated movies when I was like 12."
Yeah, fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Oh my god, anime. Like I said, I love animation. I love the concepts that come with it. And they're all good. And like obviously, TV we're gonna get along to animation, but I mean, there's so many great animated movies out there that I will refrain from talking about right now because we're in this. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's why I love the Iron Giant. That's why it's on my list because it means something to me, and
yeah.
that's awesome to share with y'all.
Oh,
Let's,
what a great number 3. I think that's a perfect pick.
let's go to you.
All right, my number 3. Um, Came out a couple years ago. Might be in a lot of people, maybe even a lot of film bros top 4. I've got Whiplash.
Yo.
Listen, here's the thing. Whiplash gives me more anxiety than any Safdie brothers movie. It the journey that he goes on, I think his name is Andrew. Um, he is just it. His drive is so like enticing and like you root for him the entire time. But a lot of people, I mean, we're getting to spoilers, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
it's your letterbox, your
Yeah,
top
yeah, yeah.
four. Go
That's
ahead.
so true. So here's the thing. I watch Whiplash with a friend, and at the end, he's like, "Dude, what a triumphant movie about like working hard and then achieving your goals." And I'm like, "Yeah, like he worked hard and achieved his goals, but it's a sad ending." And that's what I think is interesting about this movie, where like a lot of people just we interpret it differently. Me personally, him achieving his success despite the abuse that he's been taken, like he's been given, is just such a fascinating tale where like some people go, yeah, Fletcher's right. You need to push people beyond their boundaries and their limits to achieve greatness. And it's like, yeah, like I guess every person that's ever been the greatest, like probably trained and suffered through that training. But like I think this movie doesn't show like Andrew's journey to success. It's more so about like the cost of success.
Hmm.
And I think that's just when you like walk that line where two people can watch a film and you're not like you come out and you're just talking about two totally separate like emotions that you felt. I think that's awesome. And then to get into it with the actors, oh my god, I think J.K. Simmons is the scariest person I've ever met. I haven't met him.
He's behind you.
Dude, Fletcher is the scariest person in media, like scarier than any horror movie villain. Like his tenacity is just insane. And then also like I know Miles Teller didn't like or maybe he did learn how to play the drums for it, but like the drumming in that, like I'm a big music person, so like watching that happen and like getting into that final scene, the scene where he like is told to get off the stage, he was playing the wrong music or didn't have the right music, and then he just says screw it, he's like I'm on this stage, I'm gonna just play my heart out. And like he does that whole drum solo, and then it cues into the band. It is such a driven, like it drives me crazy watching that because like I said, you're happy for Andrew that he achieved this thing, and then at the same time you're disgusted in Fletcher for getting what he wanted. He wanted a legend. He wanted to bring up the next like legendary thing like person, and he gets that. He nods to Andrew at the end, and like a lot of people see that and they go, "Yeah, it's a triumphant movie." And then like to me, I'm like, "No, the villain nodding his head in satisfaction is a tragedy."
Yeah.
And oh
At
man,
what cost, right?
exactly. And like when you talk about the visuals in that movie, like it's all caked in like a yellow light, like a warm color, and like the atmosphere of it all. And then like you get to the parts in the middle where like he forgets his drumsticks, or he
Mm.
forgets the drumsticks after the car accident, and he is coming from one place to another. And I tell you, it drives me up a wall more than Uncut Gems, more than Marty Supreme. You know, like
Mm,
it's just
Sure. I mean, I remember where I was watching this movie. It was on an airplane.
oh
And oh yeah, I felt sick to my stomach. I was
yeah.
looking around like, is anyone else seeing this? Is it just me? And yeah, you're right. It's like it's almost like a horror, right? Like to see the way that they're treating each other
Yeah.
and um fun fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken,
Oh.
on J. Jonah Jameson himself, he
Oh.
was actually a composer before he was an actor.
Was he
And
really?
so
Oh, so he
all
knew
of
what he
that
was
was,
doing.
he knew what he was doing, right?
That's
And
why.
I
I mean,
think
it looks
when he
phenomenal.
got cast in that, they're like, oh, we're probably gonna teach you a couple things. He was like, oh, I know
I
this.
got it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's.
I
I
got
mean,
it.
J.K. Simmons, like legendary actor. Like, if we ever did like a top five actors or like top five people, like in like he's probably somewhere in there for me.
Yeah.
Um, it's just watching this movie and like I said, you're rooting for him, but one by one throughout the movie, he slowly cuts people out of his life.
Yeah.
He cuts his girl, like the girl out. He cuts his dad out. He cuts it. His dad is the last one at the very end, but like he gets into the fight with his family, like his cousins, and like granted they were also jerks talking about like, oh, what is that like special? And it's like, yeah, it is special. Like just because he's not playing football and he's playing music, like yeah, he's still achieving something great.
Yeah.
So I understand his drive fully, like fully. You and I are both creatives, and I would love to go far in my career, but like, you got to go about it the right way. And for me, the movie shows that it's like pushing yourself to the extreme, cutting out your loved ones is just not the way to do it. And some people go, hey, sacrifice your things to get where you want to go.
Right.
And it's like, all right, fine, yeah.
Meanwhile, Brian has me sitting in a bucket of ice water. So if you're ever hearing my volume peak, that's why.
Yeah,
Right?
no, Michael is
He,
sitting in a bucket of ice water because dude's got to stay frosty. He's got to stay on his toes.
every
Every couple of minutes we pause and I make him get out, do jumping jacks, and then get back in.
Yeah, and then he keeps like, yeah, we won't get into what else he's doing. But speaking of potentially top five actors, which I'm gonna segue into my number two,
You're number two. Let's hear it.
which could be on the list, is Jake Gyllenhaal in his star movie Donnie Darko,
Whoa. Okay.
which I know you haven't seen.
No,
So,
yeah, I wanted to
uh,
say I haven't seen it yet.
in a place where I'm gonna try to describe the movie without spoilers because I do want you to watch that for the first time. I'm gonna read the letterbox, like little bio that they have on it,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna explain to you how insane that this is for the bio. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds. That is when the world will end. After narrowly escape a bizarre accident, a troubled teenager is plagued by visions of a large bunny rabbit that manipulates him to commit a series of crimes. In concept, for
Yeah.
sure, but also so
Has
much more
nothing to do.
timey-wimey bullshit.
Whoa.
And I love that. Like, that's all I'm
Cool.
gonna give you in that, but I'm gonna describe more about what Donnie Darko makes me feel
Yeah.
and touch into that genre.
Yeah.
So, Donnie Darko was one of those movies I watched when I was very young and I had no idea what I was witnessing, but it left a big impression on me.
Yeah.
And, something that I'm always thankful of my brother was, and sister as well, was putting me into the idea of watching things that were considered weird or abstract or just not the norm,
Yeah.
but finding what you enjoyed out of that and really supporting me in that sense. So,
Yeah.
It was a movie I watched that where I had no idea what was going on. I knew Jake Gyllenhaal was performing like amazingly at a time where I didn't really know what performing was to the extent. But also the score in the movie is probably one of my, if not favorite, like inspo scores from like other artists in a film.
Yeah.
And it is a movie that is so weird that requires rewatches that you might not get on the first time, you might not get it the second time, you might not get it at all, but it plays on tones and ideas that aren't the norm.
Mhm.
And like I mentioned, kind of a spoiler, but not really. It does touch into timey-wimey stuff and the idea of different universes,
Yeah.
uh, coast in the Mediaverse, as they say.
Oh yeah.
But I remember really liking this film and even not knowing much and talking to someone and saying, they were like, "What's your favorite movie?" And I was like, "Donnie Darko." And I remember someone's dad telling me like, "That's your favorite movie," and this guy
Oh,
was a film bro, and it
yeah.
was like I remember feeling so shunned and embarrassed by that, and I was like,
Mhm.
"No, it is," but I remember that eating at me for a while and realizing again that's kind of why it matters for me to explain like, hey, love your movies, right?
Yeah.
Love what you like. And rewatching Donnie Darko, I remember exactly why I like it because of those weirdness, because of those things that I'm trying to understand, and I'm fighting the human norm, going past beyond the ideas that I can see, um, and falling into a genre of like abstract horror,
Yeah.
right? And I really love horror, as you know, and I really feel like
Mhm.
it's a genre that's misunderstood and not really appreciated. But where Donnie Darko's not necessarily jump scaring you or kind of forcing you to be fearful, it's always making you think, but what's next? Or
Sure.
what's coming from this? Or what did that mean? Or, oh, whoa, did that one connection really matter to this? And it's almost like a spider web of like when you
Yeah.
see the detectives on the wall and they have all the wires crossing to each other, that's Donnie Darko happening. It's like a spiral of a movie. The
Okay.
things that are happening in the beginning are happening at the end, that are happening in the end's happening in the beginning. Like such a wonderful film. I wish I could talk about it more, but I don't want to spoil it in your sake. So if all of you have seen Donnie Darko and you know what I'm talking about,
Like you
hell yeah.
said, you're gonna be showing me a lot of horror movies this year. A lot of things that we might do like outside of the podcast. They might be streams, they might be YouTube videos where we just put on something that either one of us has watched or neither of us have watched. And if it's something like Donnie Darko, like you're showing me one of your favorite movies, and I'm just gonna be like, I'm excited to watch it because I respect your takes on media, and if it's in your top two, like it's something special, and I know I have to check that out.
Yeah, you do. Uh,
Also, if this police siren is
uh, yeah, they got me, guys. Sorry. They said he has a bad movie take. Let's get him.
Guys, we're
You know
filming
what?
in New
Take me.
York City.
Take me.
We're filming in New York City. It's if you hear something in the background, no, you didn't. It's just two guys talking.
Two guys chilling in a hot tub. Anyways, who said that? Going back to it though, another reason why I love Donnie Darko is, again, I keep saying this, I love dialogue, but the way that the family speaks to each other is like,
Mm,
it's so funny because it feels like you're like, for me anyways, like I'm talking with my family, like
really?
when you're shit talking to each other, or you're making little jokes, or the one of the younger siblings, which is me, says something out of pocket and everyone starts laughing and things
Yeah.
like that. But even in the town where it plays into like the concept of bullying or being
Mm,
the new student to a school, that I'm not sure if anyone has had that feeling, but
yeah.
if you were a new student in a school, which I've felt before, of
Oh
like
yeah.
being like, oh, I'm that new person, right? How do I jive with everyone, or how do I enter this world?
Sure.
Um, those kind of character interactions are really great. They also talk into the idea of mental health and therapy, which is like, again, there's so many little pockets of things that I really enjoy that in a whole is just uh, accumulation of great things that I
Yeah.
feel like you would really enjoy.
The more you talk about Donnie Darko, the more I realize I have no idea what this movie is even about.
Yeah,
Like,
and you won't.
yeah.
And I'm explaining it in a way that you never will until you watch it.
I'm so
And I hope
excited.
you watch it and you still don't understand it.
It's gonna listen, and that's a movie that I really like. I like coming out of a movie theater going, "Hey, I had a fun time. What the hell was that?"
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
And my fun fact for this is not a fun fact about the movie.
Okay, I didn't know we were doing fun
Yeah, no,
facts.
I know, and we're not. It's just something that I'm doing, but it's a fun fact about me. Actually, Donnie Darko, another reason why I love it so much, it's the first movie that I had playing on like a DVD
Oh,
where I'm not sure if you remember with DVDs sometimes they have like a loop of a movie,
for
but
sure.
instead of this one, it has like a song playing, and it's almost like an endless void of like the
Oh,
same
is it
song
a
playing
scary
over and over.
song?
No, it's relaxing, and to me anyways, maybe even scares you. I don't know. I'll show you
Okay.
later. But
Oh
it's
God.
what really again helped me enjoy influences of visuals, right?
Yeah.
Like not just past a movie being a visual product, but like when you can put together a great landscape of a scene with a good sound to it, and like it carries through, right?
Yeah.
So good, so much I want to get into it. The music
Hell
too. I'm
yeah.
gonna have to show you the score after this because it's just so many great songs, so many
Nice.
classics.
Hell yeah.
Let's get to your number two.
All right, my number two. Um, folks, I hope you've seen this because this movie is a classic. It is The Princess Bride. You know, you got that. You ever see the DVD? You know how you can flip it one way and it
Yeah,
says Princess Bride and you flip it the other way? I
so
love
good.
that. Something
Yeah,
about that, that's why it has my top
yeah,
five.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. What is there to say about The Princess Bride? It is a classic. It is a beautiful, fun movie. Every scene is so quotable, so fun, so entertaining. It's a lighthearted movie, which with some like darker things and then whatever. I'm gonna get into spoilers. How could you not like appreciate the heart that this movie has with like between like because it what makes this story interesting is like yeah it's the story with like Wesley and Buttercup and like Inigo and all of the stuff in the fantasy world, but they have that meta element of the grandfather reading to the grandson, and like I think to me that makes it genius because you can make The Princess Bride and it's just the fantasy world. And I'm gonna be honest, if that was made back in when it was made, and you didn't have this like meta aspect of the film, I think it gets lost in history. It gets lost in like everything else.
Sure.
Because granted, those scenes are fantastic, and I'll get into one of my favorite scenes, or the multiple that exist in this movie. Um, but having that extra element just gives it so much heart because the grandson hears that it's a fantasy book and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to watch this, or I don't want to read this. This is like kiddie thing, and like, I don't want to like. There's kissing, like that's weird." And like you kind of like laugh along with that, and then you get to the end, and the grandpa stops right before Wesley and Buttercup kiss, and he's like, "Oh, you don't want to hear this," and the kid has come around. He's like, "Actually, you can tell me about it."
Yeah.
Like, and to me, like that just shows how powerful a story can be, and like I'm so thankful for that meta aspect because the rest it elevates every other aspect of that film when it comes to the fantasy world because now going into it, the story of Wesley Buttercup, like the thing with Humperdinck and like all of that journey, it's very like standard hero journey, like the classic, something that probably could come out in like the 40s, 50s, 60s, and you wouldn't really bat an eye. Um, but the acting, the comedy, it's one of the most quotable movies like that I can think of. I think every scene has a line that is just like top notch. Everyone's bringing their A game. Um, and it's just like I said, I can go on and on about how much I love this movie. My favorite. This is my number. I'm actually confirming it right now. This is my number one favorite scene in all of movie
Oh,
history.
whoa.
This is
Okay.
get ready for
So I'm
this.
ready.
It is Wesley and Inigo's fight when he because it starts out so great.
Yeah.
The Vizzini and Fezzik go with Buttercup. They continue on. Inigo is like waiting at the top of the cliff, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing down there? Like, you hurry up!" And it's the banter between them like top notch. Like they are just perfect cast for that movie. Their quips are just hilarious. He helps him up. They're both men of honor. Their fight where they're both talking and complimenting each other as they're having amazing action. Like it's not like like it's not like a 21st century like mind breaking like action scene, but it is so beautifully choreographed where they're just fencing and you got the tricks that they're doing. And one of that, like, he reveals that, oh, I'm actually not left-handed, and then he goes,
He's like,
oh,
oh,
so am
so am
I.
I. Yeah.
Oh man, like something about that, I stop and I just am in awe. And I think to me, I realized, because I watched this first when I was a kid. I realized like that is movies to me.
Sure.
It it has the comedy, it has the heart. I loved the two characters already. I thought they were both great guys, so I was worried that one of them was gonna die at the end of this. And like, I was, it's just so classic, and you can tell that they were having so much fun on that set. Like,
Yeah.
I have to imagine that like that was such a fun experience to be like. And like I said, I can go on and on. And one of my favorite characters in that film is Billy Crystal as Miracle Max, because every single line he says is amazing. Billy Crystal, phenomenal actor, like literally like the funniest, like one of the funniest people. Like when I tell you, like when he looks up at Fezzik, he's like, "Leave or I'll call the Brute Squad," and then Fezzik's like, "I'm on the Brute Squad. You are the Brute Squad." Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way he just delivers lines, I'm obsessed, and like everything else inside their little shack. I just, like I said, I can't get enough of this movie, and it is so beautiful, and I'm just, ugh. Every time I watch, I've started watching it with my girlfriend like once a year, and every time I watch it, it solidifies more and more as like just a perfect movie to me, and it's, ugh.
I mean, yeah, speaking about dialogue, which I keep talking about all the time, like you said, it's probably one of the best quotable dialogue-filled movies of all time, right? There's so much heart in it. I'll spare no attempt at them right now because I'm sick. But like, yeah, those lines are huge, right? And you hear them all the time. I mean, for me, who's Hispanic, hearing a character who's speaking in a way that's like, oh shit, like, yeah,
Yeah,
representation. That's fucking awesome,
yeah.
right? Even as a kid, where you don't understand, like, it's not always there. But also their mustaches. Can we
Oh
be
my
real?
god.
Anytime I shave, I'm like, fuck, I want to look like that so bad,
Dude, I wish I
you
could be
know?
Wesley. Like
Oh,
I'm
who
miss
doesn't, you know?
I'm slipping on this actor's name right now, but if I can literally like transform my physical self, it would be Wesley wearing the full like the Dread Pirate Roberts
Yeah.
costume,
And
and I would just live like that with that thin
the thin
mustache. Oh
mustache.
my god, dude.
Marty
Oh,
Supreme.
it's
But yeah, there's something about a masked character that I enjoy so much, and like
Sure.
obviously for someone in my ball court who loves like superheroes and also the double identities and things like that, even in noir, um, I think they do it so well in Princess Bride for a time where it was newer. It's
Yeah.
like a character who is idealizing someone who's bad,
Yeah.
evil in a way. And then kind of being that character and acting that part for so long,
Yeah.
even
Like he's with Buttercup
yeah,
and
and
he
still
plays the
playing the
part.
part, but in moments that matter, kind of when he's fighting, right? And you said he's being honorable, right? But
Yeah.
who's to say that the Pirate King isn't honorable, right?
Yeah.
And in a way, it's like, is he doing that because that's him? Is it because it's the
Yeah.
role? Who's to know, right? But when
Yeah.
he takes off the mask, he's him again,
Yeah.
right? And he's right back into it. He's right back to Lover Boy, right back to
Yeah.
having the reasons for why he's doing the thing he's doing, and whew, yeah,
In Yugo, like when he loses the fight, he gets on his knees and he's like, "Okay, just do it quickly." Like he thinks he's fighting the Dread Pirate Roberts, so
yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, I'm dying." Like I'm,
And in a
and
way, he is,
yeah.
right?
Oh my god! And
Yeah,
actually, you're right. It's a bit of a rebirth because he comes back and he's like, "Okay, I'm fighting for what's important." Like he still is on his revenge journey, but like he's like, "No, I see these people. He's actually a good person. I'm gonna help him do what he has to do."
right. Because at the end of the day, the Dread Pirate's been a role that's passed on and passed on and passed on.
Yeah.
And I know someone else will get passed on to it. I don't think they actually showed who gets it or if someone
I
gets
think
it.
they hint
They,
that he becomes.
because I
Maybe
remember,
there's a line or two.
yeah, he said something about like, oh, I'll pass this on to someone else when he was explaining it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just too much of me being so used to end credit scenes,
Because
right?
because Inigo talks about like he spent his whole life hunting down the six-fingered man
Yeah.
that he doesn't know what to do.
Oh,
So
does
I
he
think-
kind of hint to him?
I think like I'm gonna be. It's so bad that I'm saying this is my second favorite movie ever, and I've watched it a billion times, and I'm even slipping. But It's because of the like 20 million other highlights through the movie.
Sure,
So
I
like
mean,
if I forget something else,
and again, that's the great thing about movies. Like once you start talking about them, you get so into it that you start forgetting everything about it, right?
yeah,
Like when I start talking about any of the movies I've shared with you guys, I forgot everything about the movie for a second because like
yeah,
I'm so passionate in that one moment I forget it all.
yeah.
Um,
And to go into like another thing, like I talked about with Whiplash, like with the casting, casting is so important to me in film.
sure.
And like when I think people have been casted perfectly, like I make sure to let people know, like, no, these people were like born to play these roles. And maybe they go on to other things. Like I know all of these actors are like very, very successful actors and they've done a ton of other things. But everybody that's casted in it, like even getting Andre the Giant, a wrestler who like wasn't an actor per se, but getting him to do that, like that's so awesome, and he plays a phenomenal job. He does that job, that role perfectly.
Perfectly.
You could
Yeah.
not get another person as perfect as him for that.
Right.
But listen, we've talked a lot about my number two. Before we get into our number ones, do you want to just throw out a couple honorable
I was
mentions?
just going to say, let's throw some honorable mentions into the mix. Speaking of a cast that I think was done so well, which was sitting on my top four for a second when it came out, but it is falling a little off. Not that it's bad, but just because
Yeah,
Bullet Train.
dude, that's
I
in my honorable mention
love the
too.
cast of Bullet
It
Train.
was for a
So
time.
good.
I think I had it. I think I had Truman Show just underneath Bullet Train
Yeah.
because it was at one point in my letterbox top
Yeah,
four.
I know.
But Truman Show just has it for me. But Bullet Train is such a fun movie, and like you said, casting could not be better.
Of course, and if you hear me describe it, it's like the perfect way to describe like a one shot in like a TTP RPG or just like a quick in and out, right?
Yeah.
And Lemon and Tangerine, oh, always rooting for them.
The way that it ramps up when he's like, "You're the Diesel," and oh my
Oh,
god, it's the music, the acting, there's a shot of Aaron Taylor Johnson walking out of the train
yeah.
and he's smoking a cigarette and it like is tilted sideways and then it rotates.
Yeah.
It is the coolest looking. He looks so goddamn cool that entire movie. Like I'm blown away anytime like he is on screen. Like he's the coolest looking guy
Yeah.
on screen in
I
that
mean,
thing.
speaking of that shot, it's actually a poster on Letterbox Patreon.
Oh
Not
damn,
sponsored.
this guy.
But also him running to the train when he has to like crack into the window of the bullet train to get back on, phenomenal.
It's crazy. And then even the scene the next time you see him after that, when he's all roughed up and his hand he's maybe a little bloody and whatever,
Yeah,
his sleeves are rolled up.
yeah. Oh my
Dude,
God.
holy cow.
Can we
How do
talk
you
about how I
get
would want to look if I could just snap my
Yeah, oh
finger?
my
Fuck
god,
it, a
so
mustache
true.
again, crazy.
Oh man. Ugh, the
But
mustache.
we both said it when we talked a little bit much about it. Give us another one.
Who for me? So yeah, you actually took my
Your
honorable
next one,
mention.
it's just so good.
For me, I'm gonna pull another Damien Chazelle, and I'm gonna say La La Land.
Oh, okay, also one that's been on my honorable mentions, almost on my four back and forth.
Uh-huh. At one point was also in my letterbox top five. I think Whiplash replaced it just because listen, both of them musicals. They're musical. I think La La Land is more of a musical, but they both revolve around music. And both Damien Chazelle. I wouldn't say my favorite director, but my God, those two movies are absolutely perfect. Um, La La Land has beautiful visuals, um, but I also love the music. I listen to the soundtrack all the time. Um, I tear up so hard at the end. It's like a bittersweet end because they're both very happy and successful, but at the same time, like they're not doing their dream together.
Yeah.
Um, and honestly, like Emma Stone, generational talent, and I'm like, I just watched her in Begonia a couple months ago, and I'm just like floored with how amazing she is in literally everything. Like
Yeah.
she's just so fun to watch, and she has great energy, and like I don't know, I'm excited to watch Emma Stone be like an actress in our lives for like
Forever.
yeah.
And her and Ryan have so wonderful chemistry, which
Oh
is why
yeah.
they've done multiple things like was Crazy Stupid Love, which is a
Yeah,
great one,
Crazy
and
Stupid Love is really
Gangster
good.
Squad, also a fun one.
Mm,
Because I think they understand each other as
yeah,
actors, and they really
they have
flow
great
very
chemistry.
well. And again, like you said, like the emotional pain we're witnessing with them, right?
Yeah,
Because of course you think it's gonna be a happy like ending
yeah.
at the end. You think they're gonna go together, and that dream sequence at the end of the what if.
It's I am a sucker for a musical that also plays with those visuals.
Yeah,
The way they're all dancing around, you see the background actors like doing things that like are symbolic of things that we've seen throughout the movie, like or the how the set is designed. I just, people clown on this movie a little bit. They're kind of
sure.
just like, "Oh, La La Land, like you like La La Land?" Like, yeah, dude, I love La La Land. Um, people, listen, I got to address the controversy real quick with the Oscars with
Oh
Moonlight.
yeah,
Listen,
I saw that
listen.
on your TikTok.
I love La La Land. Moonlight was a fantastic film, and maybe it deserves the Oscar, but La La Land has a very special place in my heart.
I definitely think it deserved the Oscar, Moonlight, and I
Yeah.
do love La La Land. It's just too. That's the thing about movies when they compete against each other. I mean, look at our top four. Like
Hmm.
sometimes a movie, it's just like it's not that it's better than,
Yeah.
but it's just impactful in a different way.
Yeah.
And obviously, we love both the movies. But yeah, La La Land is wonderful.
You got
But
another one?
yeah, so speaking of the Gosling himself, it's so me for real because
Oh
I'm Ryan
man.
coded. Nice guys.
Oh, that's actually now. I was expecting you to say Blade Runner 2049.
Oh no no no,
Cause
nice
you,
guy.
okay, Michael sends the picture of that character looking up at the screen like twice a day to me. Like I feel like I see
It's
that
my
picture
favorite
all
thing.
the
I have so many
time.
Ryan Gosling stickers. I mean, if you're looking at my Patreon right now, it's literally Ryan Gosling in the snow, laying down
Yeah,
in Blade Runner. But
I haven't
no,
seen The Nice Guys.
oh shit.
I
Now I
know.
can't talk about it, but let me talk about it a little bit. Let me be a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah,
better than I
for
did
sure.
Darko. It's essentially a buddy cop.
Fair.
I
Okay.
love buddy cop movies. Point Break was also one of the ones I was going back and forth with because buddy cop movies just have a way to kind of bounce on each other, right? Where in romance movies, you get a lot of the bounce back from both protagonists who are interested in each other. I love that for buddy cops, right? Where you just have one guy and another, or person in person,
Yeah.
going back and forth, bouncing on each other. Why me and Brian are doing a podcast now because we're
Oh
bouncing off
yeah.
each other. And it does comedy so well in a way that I feel like is just enough cheesy,
Yeah.
but also enough to be a little bit more like serious in its own ways.
Yeah.
Just watch it, man. Watch it and
Ryan
let me know how you
Gosling. So
feel.
good.
Ryan Gosling.
Ken, he plays Ken so well. Crazy Stupid Love, he's really
Oh, he's
funny in
also
that
really
too.
good
Like
in
he's
that
really
one.
good in
Yeah.
that. I think to get to our number ones, I'm just gonna rattle off a couple more that I would put in like
Sure.
my
Go ahead.
top 10
Go
type
ahead.
contender, and then feel free to pull up your like letterbox just
Yeah.
to like
Go
get
ahead.
a couple of those. Um, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
I cried maybe for the last 20 minutes of that
Fair
movie.
on my list.
Um, The Iron Claw. Dude, I know you watched that
Oh, I
recently.
just watched that one with my mom.
I can't
Devastating.
put a movie that makes me sob so goddamn hard and is so tragic and sad in my top five.
Yeah.
But for a movie to make me feel those emotions, and like, I know it's based off a true story, so like, I think that also adds to how I feel about these characters.
Sure.
But they, while the characters aren't like great, like they like the brothers aren't like amazing people, that you can tell they love each other and care so much about themselves, like each other. So when like the things start happening, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Like I said, the last 20 minutes of that movie, I am sobbing so hard.
Yeah.
Ugh. But to keep going, Spider-Verse, the original one.
Of course.
The second one I also have at I have it at the same
No,
like
I
five
have I have a
stars.
hot take on that one, but we won't get into
Oh,
it.
I just think the visuals for the Spider-Verse movies are like unmatched, and like it's one of those things that like I'm so grateful for the animated medium
Yeah.
because they do things that you could never do in live action.
And how much effort they put into making it,
Oh, they
right?
try so hard, and I'm so grateful for it. But yeah, I've got speaking of animated, Spirited Away.
Yeah.
It's what can you say?
What
It's
can you
Spirited Away.
say? Yeah.
Everyone knows it's phenomenal. Not everyone thinks so, but Knives Out, the first Knives Out, I am obsessed with Knives Out. I think
Yeah.
it's such a great movie. I think all the actors are phenomenal. Um, and then I'm gonna name four more, and then I'm gonna call it. Goodfellas,
Yeah.
straightforward. Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption was in my top four at one point.
Yeah.
It's since dropped. Um, Django Unchained.
Nice.
I listen. I'm not a Quentin Tarantino guy. He makes great movies. I won't deny that. Django Unchained. It's phenomenal. Like it's just perfect. And then finally, Good Will Hunting. I have Good Will Hunting at that spot.
Very great. I would love, obviously, to talk more about it,
We
but
will. And
and
listen, if you caught any of those movies and you want us to talk more about those movies, I will talk about them all day long. Just let me know.
100%. And again, here is some of my honorable mentions. I'm just gonna list them out. I won't get into too much detail. There are obviously some that I left off my list, but these are ones that I was kind of going back and forth for my top four. So we have Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Alien,
Oh man.
2001: Space Odyssey,
Mm.
Brick, Lars and the Real Girl, Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, Scream,
Ooh.
The Thing, which
I need to
almost
watch.
had me, but Donnie Darko was there a little bit more. Hot Fuzz, um, but the one that almost made the list, that was on my list
Yeah.
for a very long time, as I've loved movies in a way that I have since Letterbox,
Yeah.
which didn't make it to my one, which I'm gonna segue into.
Uh
The
huh.
one that didn't make it because it was replaced was 500 Days of Summer. So
Whoa.
500 Days of Summer was a huge movie for me
Yeah.
because every time I watched it, I saw something different every time in a way that we talk about when you rewatch a movie. You're like, oh, okay. But I
Yeah.
saw it from different perspectives.
Yeah.
First, you watch it and you're like, I see Tom, like, I can't believe he got hurt like that. He got
Yeah.
played. Then you see Summer's eyes and you're like, oh, Tom knew what he was signing up for. Like, come on. Then you just kind of go back and forth. You see it from the sister's eyes. You just start understanding, like, these are the hard concepts of life and romance. And
Yeah.
they just kind of fall in together. And
Yeah.
what can you do with the a movie that has beautiful ways of describing pain and love and music and IKEA? Come,
Yeah.
come on. But it was replaced by number one movie that's been sitting there for a while now. And if you know me, you know this movie. And if you're here for New Year's, you know exactly why. When Harry Met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally.
When
Great
Harry
number one.
Met Sally changed the way I perceived movies because I watched it after a long while of not like loving movies but not watching this classic.
Yeah.
Again, it falls on the list that a lot of people talk about, like, oh, this is one of the best movies of all time, and you're like, I imagine it's really good, but is it though?
Yeah.
And I watched it and I went, oh, yeah, it
Yeah, it
is,
is.
right? Talking again about Rob, he just knows how to write everything,
Yeah.
right? Like from the directing to the dialogue to the way the scenes play. Again, acts. I love acts and the way that they break things down through this turmoil of these characters figuring things out, the serendipity of them meeting and consistently going through the concept of, from college life to their adult life later on. And it's such a quotable movie,
It
right? Like
is. It
so many
is.
quotable scenes in it, so many like things I see all the time, like stickers and T-shirts, and like the art that comes from it, the coloring of that movie.
Yeah.
The probably my favorite coloring is like autumn color, so like
Mhm.
the way that the leaves just kind of project on different scenes, but then you get the season changes, and it's like a story that really takes you through almost like I think the fastest way to live someone's life, right? Like, because you're
Sure.
just like that,
Yeah.
and you're there every
Years go
second of it.
by.
Years go by, right? And I just think it's not where I do love a lot of romance rom-coms, and I do even love cheesy ones. there's nothing cheesy about it in the way of
No,
how authentic that story was.
it's a beautiful story.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so good. Like you get the inner workings, and I mean even freaking the what is it, the costume design. Like I want
Yeah.
Harry's sweater
Yeah.
so bad. Like if you guys know where I can get that sweater, let me know. I want that exact one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know you love that movie too. Talk a little bit about it.
No, I mean, I'll just say that like I think great pick. I think as a number one movie, like I see why. It's so fun. Absolutely hilarious. Um, Shout out Rob Reiner. Like Rob, I made a quick list of my favorite directors because I don't follow one director specifically, and I'm like, oh, everything they put out is a masterpiece. But I did make a list, and Rob Reiner was my number two. Um, and like Princess Bride being in there. I've also seen like This Is Spinal Tap,
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal movie. But When Harry Met Sally is such a special movie, and like it's Billy Crystal. Oh, what's the actress's name, please?
Killing me that I don't know now, and everyone's gonna look at me like this freaking guy. Let me look
Uh,
it up while you talk.
yeah, yeah,
Go ahead
yeah.
and filibuster for me.
No, so it's just such a beautiful movie, and like they capture such a warm, comfortable environment. What's her name?
Meg Ryan.
Meg. Oh my God,
I
okay.
know.
We're
Oops.
terrible people. We're terrible boys.
We know Carrie Fisher's in there too.
So that's the funny thing. So we watched When Harry Met Sally for New Year's Eve this year, and we did the thing where when it's counting down New Year's at the end of the movie, we timed it so that it was going off the exact same time
As the
that
countdown, yeah.
2026 was happening. Your idea,
And
like,
that's
it was
that's
just
my fun
phenomenal.
fact. At 10 minutes 38, no, at 10 o'clock 38 minutes, and I think it's 20 seconds.
Yeah,
Not 24. One of the two. I have to look back at it.
yeah,
You time it to that, the countdown happens exactly at the countdown when Harry met Sally at the most iconic, one of the
yeah,
most iconic scenes.
yeah,
I mean, it could be debatable the most iconic, but there's so many scenes I love. I
yeah.
couldn't be, but yeah,
So like I haven't seen that movie in like a few years now. But when I showed up at your apartment and you guys were watching it, I remember like just being like, "Oh yeah, this scene." And I'm like, "Oh, I missed the diner scene, like the classic." Um but then Carrie Fisher walked on and I went, "Oh shit, Carrie Fisher's in this?" And I was like, "Oh my God." That's my favorite part about watching older movies that I haven't
yes,
seen,
yeah,
cuz you'll be watching something and you're like, "Oh, this guy's in it." Like, "Oh, this person's in it." That's so cool.
yeah. You're like,
So like
whoa,
seeing
yeah,
Carrie Fisher was like, "Oh, that's awesome." But when Harry Met Sally, it at least I'd say like when I was younger, it gave me hope that like cuz listen, I'm in a relationship right now and like we've been dating for a really long time and listen, this for me this is shout out my girl. I love her. When I was younger, I was like, "Oh, maybe like it doesn't work out now, it could work out in the future." And like granted those things didn't happen whatever and like those old like elementary school, middle school, high school crushes, but it's the hope and the love that like you see on screen and like
mm,
just not even like maybe even like not even like romantic relationships, just relationships in general. Like
yeah.
I'm even realizing now that as like an adult, like you fall off with some people and then you come right back and sometimes you don't even skip a beat. And
yeah.
like that's really cool. And you don't get that with like without learning with age. That just happens sometimes.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, like you were saying about the friendship, like that's kind of also something that they touch on when Harry met Sally, like
Mhm.
his best friend, her best friend, like these are people that have been with them since, how long,
Yeah.
and obviously eventually their two best friends meet and
Yeah.
connect and become a whole thing. But like, that's just kind of how life is, right? Like
Yeah.
whether it's someone that you've known for a long time, someone you reconnect with, like it's connection. That movie's
Yeah.
about connection
Yeah.
and the importance of what it really means to be just authentically you in front of
Yeah.
another, because like that's one of Harry's biggest things is kind of like being the way that he thinks a guy's supposed to be,
For
right?
sure.
Not picking up a girl at the airport or whatever because it's getting too serious and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and like the nuances that he has about guys and girls can't be friends,
Yeah.
which is so past the norm, but like
Yeah.
again at the time and in his head that's what it was.
Yeah.
Or kind of how Sally, described the perfect person, or how it had to be exactly to these standards, when it's like no
Yeah.
one's ever gonna feel that, but that's
Yeah.
okay because we're imperfect as beings, as
Hmm.
people. And I don't know, that's why I like it so special, because it is a rom-com. It
For
is
sure.
phenomenal romance, but it also just talks about the human person, the
And
identity of us.
that's the word. It is
Yeah,
such a human movie. Like it's a
yeah,
human film and it
right.
captures a human story
Yeah,
so well.
that's why I love it. Right,
It's
that's why
what a
it's number
great
one.
first pick. That's a great
Yeah,
number one
yeah,
pick,
yeah.
dude.
Thank you so much.
Ugh.
But I want to hear yours.
My number one pick. Ooh, well, it's not a rom com. It's a little freaky. Um, so my number one pick. I'll paint the picture. Uh, I had lived in the city for around like 6 months now. I'm from New York, but I moved to New York City in December of 2022. Um, I was in my mid 20s and I was feeling very aimless. And I go to the theater to just, I got the AMC stubs and I watched Barbenheimer back to back. I used two out of my three
Wow.
that year, or two out of my four.
Yeah.
So I watched Oppenheimer and Barbie. I had good times with those. And then I go, great, what else do I watch this month? And then I go, oh, this guy, Wes Anderson, put out a new movie called Asteroid City. Asteroid City, man. I did not know what I was getting into when I saw it. And I left that theater a changed person.
Sure.
I feel like the person I am today does revolve a little bit around how that movie made me look at life. Um, it's just, here's the thing. Whether you love him or hate him, Wes Anderson has a strong, unique style. Like, it is undeniable that, like, he just has, like, you look at a movie, even if you've never seen it, like, you see a frame and you go, oh, this is a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
His coloring, how he frames like people and how he frames settings, absolutely perfect. Um, but this movie, I like I said, I was caught off guard. I sat down. I knew it took place in some desert area. I didn't even remember seeing a trailer or anything. So I had no idea what I was about to witness. So when the movie starts and it's in black and white, and you get Bryan Cranston on stage and he's in like a 1950s like microphone like audio and he's talking about a stage play and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then they start painting the setting and they start telling you what's going to happen and like they start introducing the actors that are playing the characters and this cast is so stacked and it's insane. Like Jason Schwartzman, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks. I can go on and on. Tilda Swinton is in there. Like so many people. Like I said, I can name all these people. Um, but man, this movie bounces around and like same thing with Princess Bride. I really value like getting meta with a movie because I think you can add like those layers add importance to other scenes.
Yeah.
So like there are three separate times in this movie that they discuss the main character Augie burning his hand on the grill
The
that he
griddle or
has.
whatever. Yeah.
First happens before you even see it in the movie.
Yeah.
The writer is talking to someone who eventually becomes the actor who plays Augie in the play. And he asks, "Why does Augie burn his hand?" And he goes, "I don't know." And he like throws out an idea. Then you see Augie burn his hand in a not a very intense scene, where him and Scarlett Johansson's character are kind of just getting into it, and they're like, maybe developing feelings for this person, even though like he's currently mourning his wife who just passed away, like, and he has these four children, and he's trying to figure out life and understand the meaning of all these things that are happening. Because spoiler alert, like I said, you have one chance for a spoiler alert. Randomly halfway through this movie, fucking alien shows up. But when I tell you I have two scenes in this movie that are just like my perfect film movie like scenes. The first is when the alien shows up because the music, the score becomes this little, like, I think it's a triangle just getting tapped, and it's like ding ding, it's a ding ding, and everyone looks up. The screen becomes this deep emerald green that you've been seeing a lot of turquoise and like terracotta colors throughout the movie because like that's where it's set. But then this deep green comes in and you're like, what the hell is this? And then the alien comes out and he's animated and you find out later he's Jeff Goldblum. Like it's perfectly done. And then my other favorite scene is the third time they talk about the
The
Augie
burning his
burning his
hand.
hand, and it's when the alien comes back and everybody starts freaking out in the main story, and the character of Augie drops the facade and he is now the actor playing Augie, and he runs off set. And now we're in black and white. We're behind the stage. The show is still going on, but Jason Schwartzman's character playing the actor playing Augie comes up to the director and he's just like, why does Augie do it? I don't understand this character. He's like, I do this every night, and every night I feel like my heart is getting broken, but I don't know what it means. And the actor, played by Adrian Brody, like, crazy, he's just in this for a small role. But the director looks at him and goes, good, do it anyways. And when I tell you, when I was sitting in that theater as like my coming into the city, like hot and fresh, still didn't have a lot of like, didn't have my social circle that I do now, all my great people like you and all the people we know. In my mid 20s, trying to figure out my place in the world, seeing the director tell that character like, good, just do it anyways.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't understand this character. And he's like, it doesn't matter. You just do it anyways.
Yeah.
To me, that just clicked in a way that I can't describe, and I am so grateful for seeing this movie. And then it gets so weird where the parts with the Willem Dafoe acting school, where they start doing the chant of you can't wake up if you don't fall asleep.
Yeah.
You can't wake up if you don't fall asleep. Which that is also just, it's so powerful. And at the end of the day, the movie to me is that similar to Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was approaching life as a very like in a like a nihilistic viewpoint where I was getting to this thing where like I was unsure if meaning in the world meant anything, and this movie kind of solidified that meaning is whatever you want it to be.
Sure.
And that touched me in a way that no movie has, or I don't think will ever until I see it. Because, like I said, it made me realize that, like, the meaning that I want in this world comes from what I find important. And since then, like, in the 2 years that I think it's been out, I have changed how I live and I change how I see the world. And I've only seen my life getting better from it. So, Asteroid City, it's a crazy funky movie. Maybe not even Wes Anderson's best movie, but something that just touched my soul on like a fundamental level that I am just so grateful for. And I saw it 3 times in theaters when it was in theaters, and I saw it twice out, showing it to my girlfriend and then showing it to some of my friends. But yeah, I recognize it's not for everybody. And that's okay. Like, my parents watched it and then they texted me and they went, what the hell was that? They were like, this is your favorite movie? And like, oh man, I've just been talking about it forever. So I would love to, because
Yeah.
you've watched it
No,
recently.
I just watched it recently. I didn't want to interrupt you because that was so beautiful. And kind of exactly how we were talking when I first watched it. Because, again, Brian was trying to get me to watch this movie for a while. And I was like, well, we're doing the pod, I might as well. And I watched it and couldn't help but break it down with him, right? It was
Yeah.
something we want to do authentically in the pod, but it's just like, it's one of those movies that, like, and again, why I think you're going to like Donnie Darko. Maybe not top 4, but why you understand it is because the meaning is not necessarily behind understanding the root of it, but it's feeling it, right?
Yeah.
Accepting it, being that moment. And I myself was watching it like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
But also in a way that's like, hell yeah. It has me questioning something that I can't understand. I need to break that, right? Like, how do I do that? And I do that just means sit in and watch. Stop
Yeah.
thinking. Just accept it. Go with it. And what I was telling you, or when we were talking about it, what I love so much about the movie is how sometimes you're seeing something in an actor or in a scene that kind of feels off. It kind
Yeah.
of feels like the character misspoke a line or
Mhm.
something in the background of the scene falls. And it's because they're in a play. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what happens when you're in a play. Sometimes you say a line wrong, but you have to keep going with it. Sometimes the set design doesn't really hold up as it's supposed to. But that detail is so peculiar and so held deep to the idea of like you barely see it. It's like insignificant to the movie, but it mattered to me,
Yeah.
right? And so those moments would be like refreshers of, oh shit, like right, they're in a play. This is not real. This is not actually happening. And then you lose it again. Then you forget.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, so freaking good. Like for sure,
Yeah.
I still need to rewatch it again because I don't understand it. But that, like we said,
Like
that's the
yeah.
point.
Like I said, I that one part clicked with me my first watch, but I left the theater and I went, that was beautiful. I loved it. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
So that's why I watched it two more times in theaters. I think I went back the next day and watched it. Um, and then I watched it again like 2 weeks later at like some very indie theater like downtown. Um, but yeah, like I said, everything about that film, the actors, the setting, the score, the message, the themes, I just to me that is what film is about. Like we said with When Harry Met Sally, to me that is a human film and like it is telling such an important story and like or not even an important story, but it's touching on important themes.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a movie or a film that can tell its own story and it's telling this wacky adventure with an alien and this and happens, but the themes really hit you,
Yeah.
I think that is so fun.
Yeah. And that's what I love about movies and the idea of like sometimes you're getting into themes, sometimes you're just getting into silly, sometimes you're turning your head off, sometimes you're playing into just a normal day life perspectives, right? Just to shoot off a couple more. Clerks, something I forgot to mention that's on top
Sure.
of my list.
Yeah, yeah.
What a wonderful movie that breaks down the reality of like just kind of normality of life, right? Like
Yeah.
having these conversations, like I said, stoner talk with your friends, that's just like to anyone else is just like a simple joke, but like carries forward, right? And like I
Yeah.
think Kevin Smith with this movie alone changed the world and the spectrum of those kind of ideals, which we can get into a different day, or movies like Raid Redemption based on fighting, but that really break down scenes, or a movie called Burning, a Korean film that is so wonderful that I've talked to you about.
Sure.
Like there's just so many things out there that are just past to the views that I've never seen that I can't wait to watch. And
Yeah.
I bet there's so many movies that all of you have on your top four that whether I agree with, haven't seen, or maybe will, but
Yeah.
that's just what makes it so wonderful.
And that's the thing. So we definitely went longer than we were expecting. I can see us doing a part two for movies in the future. Like maybe not our top five, but maybe like other things. Because I would love to get into other movies or like other genres or like our journey with watching films and whatnot. Um, I just want to say like one, this has been a lot of fun. I hope you guys also had a great time. Um, we love talking about the things that we're doing, and that's the whole like focal point of this podcast. It's really just to like pay tribute and thank all of the things that have made our lives special. Like we find this media so special to us, and this is kind of just like give
The
telling us why.
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I would love to have a movies part two, maybe even break down genres or actors or your
yeah.
favorites. Let us know in the comments if you can have more movie episodes, what you would like to see, maybe what you
What do
want,
you want us to talk
what you want us to
about?
talk
Yeah,
about. But you know what? Again, thank you so much for joining in on this episode. This means a lot to me and Brian, and y'all are the reasons that we have this opportunity to do it because you're listening. So,
yeah.
from one New Yorker like Brian to a
Uh-huh.
Cali boy like me, us coasting up on that Mediaverse. This is
Yeah.
us signing off for the night.
Guys, coasting the Mediaverse, thank you very much for listening to us. Hope you guys have a great time and check us out on another video.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
Have a good one.